you got to love live, right?
Perfect.
You got to love Facebook Live. People
Absolutely.
just walking in and
Absolutely.
out, right?
Good
Yeah,
good
we know.
afternoon.
We know, that's why we're talking.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening for those of you on the Eastern Standard Time, where it's 8 p.m. We are live for Wine and Whiskey Wednesday, brought to you by your hot ninjas, live from the QuickBooks Connect conference in San Jose. So this is going to be a little bit of a different format for us. We're usually on Zoom, and you can see all our little Brady Bunch pictures, but we're going to be doing an open interview for people that are here with us. If you're in the conference, please feel free to join us. Love to hear from you and have a conversation with you.
Yeah, no, this is great. It's really different. I know I'm gonna have a very difficult time concentrating here because there's so much stuff going on,
Yes.
so many people around us. So you may have to just keep dragging me back on the topic.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
And first of all, thank you to Andrew Wall for providing us with the AV equipment and this gizmo that is holding up our phone with the Facebook Live. So thank you very much, Andrew.
Remember, keep the mic close.
Okay, keep the mic close. Okay, perfect. Yeah, no,
Doesn't
not
work
close
that
to
way,
your
Steve.
ear.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so where do we want to start?
I don't know. What was your biggest takeaway from today? I mean, there was so much fantastic information, great sessions. Can you pick one? I mean, I'm not sure I can.
I can, so I probably got two.
All right, go.
Because I never have one big takeaway.
Could you save one for me?
No, because you're not
can't
different.
choose your own.
Yeah.
My session was the best session.
Yes. Oh, I can't choose my own. Okay, well then I only have one. So
Right.
I guess my big one was I was Michael McQueen, I think was his name, this morning at the keynote. Loved his session on trends that are taking place, and I thought just got my brain moving.
Yeah.
And then I guess my breakout session, my favorite one, was Jeannie Whitehouse. I love Jeannie. She's awesome, has a great sense of humor. You learn while you're laughing. And so I thought her session was great.
So knowledgeable on so many topics. At the end of the day, Jeannie, when I first met her, she's an accounting influencer on LinkedIn. I had no idea who she was. Very first QuickBooks Connect, I look over my shoulder and it's like, oh my God, that's Jeannie Whitehouse. So I look over at her and I said, are you Jeannie Whitehouse? And she looks at me with that look, really stern and serious, and says, yeah, who wants to know? And then she broke into a smile and we became almost best friends. I went to her first discussion, and like the first time I'd ever heard her speak, and I was laughing so hard.
Yes.
I brought Jeff Bourgeois and Jenny Moore. They were going to other court sessions,
Yeah.
and I said, you gotta come see Jeannie.
Yeah.
And we all fell in love with her, and she kind of exploded in our own community back home as a favorite. She's like, everyone loves Jeannie, and she's a highlight of every conference
Absolutely.
that she's at. We always say, you got to go see Jeannie, and then they come away and go, Jeannie, we love you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, and for those of you who live on another planet and don't know who that was, because we're not on Zoom, right? So you don't have your name down in front of you there, Brad? Oh, there you go. Anyway, one of our Wine and Whiskey Wednesday regulars who supports us all the time. We're really grateful, Brad. Thank you. And here he is sharing his stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're out there and going, oh, should I go to a Toronto conference? It's coming, and say, well, maybe, it's a lot of people. It's to this, it's to that. It's like, you got to be there. This is where your business takes off. Your life changes because it's the communal side of it. And we can see each other on Facebook and Zoom, and that's kind of fun.
Yep.
But when you see each other in person, it's like,
Yes.
it's a whole new dimension. And it really is the best time you're going to have doing a conference. This is work, guys.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Right? And this is work,
And
but
you
it's
learn
worth
so
every
much,
minute of it.
not only in the sessions that you attend, but having the conversations with the
Yes.
people over lunch and over the cocktails and in the social hours.
The cocktails.
And the cocktails, yes.
Yeah, and the cocktails.
And the cocktails.
And
yes.
more.
But you do. You learn a lot about how other people in real life are doing things, not
Yes.
how the software developers are telling you it's supposed to work. How does it actually work in reality with your clients?
Oh,
So let's bring in some of our other visitors here, some of our guests. Oh, hello.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm
So we got
wonderful. How are
Tamitha.
you?
I'm so well.
Good.
I'm enjoying
Tamitha.
it.
You got to flip the microphone back and forth as well, so that
Like this? Okay.
yes, so that we can hear Tamitha.
It'll pick it up.
It'll pick
No,
it up.
it has to be pretty close. It's a good mic because it
It's like everything.
So I have a question for you. How? Oh no, trust me.
Uh-oh,
So
Jennifer
what
has
is the
mic.
one part of the conference that you are taking home that is going to move the needle on your business?
And am I allowed to think about that?
You have.
Yeah.
Lisa,
Yeah.
Lisa has an answer.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. You have time to think now. So I've come to these conferences. This is my fourth year, third one in San Jose, and I live for them all year. Like, the countdown starts halfway through the year. I absolutely love it. Yeah, absolutely. So this year is very different for me, though. For all of those 4 years, I've attended a lot of sessions, taken in a lot of content, and I am terribly ashamed to say on live, I don't implement very much of it. So
Absolutely.
it's a lot of content, and it's so inspiring, but it also feels really difficult to do the work, the practical application of all of the theory and all of that inspiration, and to go home and nail down all the stuff that you've learned. So no, but I'm telling you I'm telling you a long rambling story. Hang on.
She has the microphone.
So instead, this year, I actually have a note on my phone of a list of quite a lot of things. But I am choosing very strategically which sessions I will go to. I'll never miss main stage. But instead of, I'm just sitting in a back room doing the practical application this year instead. So I will go home with this list done. Boom! First time.
That is awesome. That really is awesome. Yeah.
It actually, it's interesting to hear you guys say this actually, because it feels like a tiny bit of a tiny bit of a failure, just a little bit, because it feels like I should be able to actually implement it when I go home, and to take time away from the sessions feels like a backwards move a little bit.
Okay.
But I need to go home with the needle having changed.
Yeah.
And I need to do something different.
Yeah.
So that's what I chose this year.
Well, I think if I could give you one word of advice,
Thank you.
one of the biggest mistakes we made,
Yeah.
and we still wrestle with it sometimes now, but I think we're a little better, is we come to a conference and, like you say, there's just so much.
Yes.
Like, there's so much great information.
Yes.
Right? And then we go home and we try to implement
Yeah.
all of it.
Yes.
And nothing gets done.
So I guess that's Tamitha's.
So we made a rule, and the rule is now we have to pick two things.
Oh.
We sit after the conference, we get together, we talk about all the learnings we had, everything we thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
But we know ourselves that if we try to do more than two,
Yeah.
it'll become zero.
Yeah.
So it makes us really dig down to all the stuff that we learned while we were here, and we find that we've been much more successful at actually implementing some of the things that we've learned by limiting the amount we're trying to implement.
Yeah.
So that's, if that helps.
Here's a microphone. So I love the idea of simplifying down to one or two, but I also then wonder, do we also need to simplify within those one or two to not be too grandiose? Because sometimes we have these big, huge visions, and it might only be 2 items, but they're still like, one of them is,
Implement value.
yes, create your own country. Become a king. Sometimes that takes more than a week to do, or queen. You can buy the crown, but that's not the end of the journey.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome point. And we try to be very aware of that. And like I say, we're still learning as well. So I think we know ourselves well enough now, I hope, that when we pick those 2 points, we very much try to work in 90-day cycles. So if we cannot implement those, or we don't feel we can implement those 2 things in the next 90 days, then no, we need to back it off somehow.
Yeah.
So that's how we do.
we call them our quarterly rocks, and we stick to 3. It's not, I didn't create it.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
from the EOS, the Entrepreneur's Operating System.
Yep.
So we do quarterly rocks, which is, you
Yep.
know, we keep to only three ideas a quarter,
Yep.
and they're all quarterly focused. What can we get done
Yep.
in the next quarter? And then we meet monthly to go over
Yep.
and again, not mine, but I agree with you. Now, I think the issue that I sometimes struggle with is, you know, one of the things they talked about this morning was fresh eyes. And I wonder, you know, for the average bookkeeper, financial professional, whose their only set of eyes is them, right? It's their business. How do they get that fresh eyes? Should they post on social, like, these are the top 3 things I'm thinking? Vote for what you think I should do, or, you know, how can, come on and join us. No, you can't walk by and not join us.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna give you the mic then, and
What am I talking about here?
we're talking about, you know, how you get the most out of QB Connect, how you bring home and execute on all this knowledge and all this information.
Like, how do you determine what you're going to try to take from here? Because there's so much. How do you determine what it is you're actually going to try to work on, say, in the next 90 days?
Right. So for me, what I do is, if you've ever read the book, The One Thing,
Yep.
it's saying
Great
what
book.
one thing makes everything else easier to do. So, and then it's looking at what all's there and saying, what one step can I take that makes everything else start falling into place, right? Because maybe it's taking the one step, so you have time to do the next thing, because I don't have time to go implement that now. But if I implement this one thing, I gain time, so I can go tackle the other things. So it just made the other things easier. So for me, it's really determining what that one thing is, and many times it's taking the list of everything I want to implement and saying, what goes there? I think so.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. No, it is. It's Keller,
you're putting
the
me-
guy who
you're
started
putting me on the spot
Keller
here.
Real Estate, Gary Keller.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So that would be the answer. That
Yep.
would be my answer.
Yep. Great. Thank you.
Who's next?
Just pass it along to the next victim.
So,
Did I?
so this victim actually has.
Oh, thank you, friend.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you, darling.
Do you want?
You can't be
You're
wine
good?
and whiskey without
Okay.
the wine.
Awesome.
I actually am pulling away one executable this year for the first time in 2 years.
Awesome.
I am taking and finding 5 KPIs that I am now going to implement not only in my own firm, but for my customers. And I have never done that before. Yes. Yes,
Thank
I've read
you.
it, but that doesn't mean I've.
No, I know,
yeah.
but that's like.
No,
you're
that's
almost
great.
building a scorecard.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
But it's the one
Yep.
one big measurable, I think, change
Yep.
that's going to move the needle on my business.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, you know, there was, you know, I keep all these quotes that we heard today, you know, keep running through my head because there was so many great ones. But I keep thinking of the one that, you know, very early on the main stage this morning, you know, about the speed of change. And that as fast as the speed of change is, it is never going to be as slow as it is today.
That's right.
Like that, you know, when you think about that, that is mind-blowing. You know, I mean, it really is. And it's probably accurate. So, go.
We actually have wine now. Thank you but no whiskey. That's Thank you to Sarah.
Doesn't
and-
Rhonda Lynn have some whiskey?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I think
I have some.
You have whiskey with you?
okay.
In the hotel room.
okay.
Yeah.
She's got 3 bottles now.
It's,
She's only allowed to bring 2 back to Australia, so we might
So
have
she'll
to
have
drink
to drink one.
the
yeah.
We
excess.
should probably just keep drinking it. Hi. Get in here.
Come on in. Come on in.
Okay. What do I
Welcome
say?
to Wine and Whiskey Wednesday.
Well, thank
welcome.
you. Live.
Live
Yes.
from QB
Hello.
Connect.
Yes. Hi.
Everyone knows Sarah, right?
I know.
Yes. Yes.
Hello. So what am I supposed to say?
How about you tell us what was your biggest takeaway from today at the conference?
Oh my goodness. I actually had a really special moment that kind of just happened, chance moment. Scott Cook.
Okay.
sat at the table right next to me, walks right up, and says, "Can I sit here?" Yeah, I know. I love
That's
your
awesome.
reaction.
That's awesome.
And it was a very fun moment because I kind of I did a double take and I realized who I was sitting next to.
Sure. Maybe
And-
we should just share with our audience who
Yes.
Scott Cook is.
Oh, well, why do we have QuickBooks? Why do we have Intuit? Go look at the kitchen table. So, in any event, it was a fantastic moment, and it evolved. He had great conversation with all of us. He was very engaging, and obviously, really wanted to know the community, how we were feeling about
Awesome.
the first day. And we got. I posted some great shots on Facebook of the group that we were all together, and so it was a really nice happen chance. Obviously,
Yep.
you just
That's
luck of
fantastic.
the draw, your table, right? So
Perfect.
Hi. Anyway,
Perfect.
so I will say that honestly, I don't know, it's been 3 years coming, and that has been that was a big moment. Just hearing about him.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
and you wonder, when he first started with, I guess, Quicken,
Yeah.
Would he have ever imagined that
He
it would
said
grow to something
he
like
said
this?
No.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a very casual conversation.
Yeah.
And it was very honest. There's no interview happening at that moment. And he was like, "No, this is amazing." And
Yep.
so that was kind of nice to enjoy that with him, with all the people at the table. We had a great bunch of people. Canada was there representing.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we had several people there, and then come in.
Oh, yeah, when
my
you walk
partner.
over.
Yeah.
I've never
No,
been on this show.
no, wait, well, exactly.
What do you mean? What do you
Exactly,
mean?
exactly.
She's always reminding me. Here you go. Introduce you. It's
Yes. So Linda, as a regular, everybody that has watched us before knows who Linda is. So the topic of conversation tonight is your biggest takeaway so far with the conference. Okay, so
Matthew Swetzel.
Oh my God! Shh, don't say that.
okay,
Okay.
no,
Okay, we're live.
yeah, we can't edit. No.
All right, where is he? He's not here. He should be here, right?
He should
Where
be.
is he? My biggest takeaway? It's so different this year. This
Different how?
conference. Well, first of all, they switched up the rooms. The breakfast was different. We've been running around so much that I haven't had a chance to do. I've done other law firm ones,
Okay.
and I've been watching my friends and trying to support them, and it's been great. Those have been really fun. But I think it's just been such a whirlwind for me today.
Okay.
I wish I had roller skates on my shoes. Seriously, it's been kind of crazy.
You can borrow my scooter.
And can I go down the stairs?
Escalator. You got to go down the
I
elevator.
knew you were going to say
yeah.
that.
Can I
Yeah.
fly off?
Yeah, so it's been fun. It's always crazy. I actually loved the party last night. It was cool.
The practice ignition pre-con?
Yes.
Is that what you went to?
I love PI party.
Yeah, they're always
It's fun,
So
and you get to see
takeaways
everybody.
are breakfast
great.
and
Partying.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that you need roller skates.
And I need roller skates.
And
Yeah.
roller skates, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes, come over here. But yeah, it's been fun.
Excellent. Thank you. Jonathan. Come
Thank
through,
you.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, you're on the
You're on the spot.
So the biggest takeaways from day one,
Yes.
for me, I've been going to a lot of the advisory sessions, and,
Okay.
and it's really helped me think of ways to speak with clients about advisory and why they might need it, and to even get that right in the earlier stages to avoid scope creep, which was a great thing from I believe it was Michael Lee just in the last session I was in.
Okay.
That was probably the biggest takeaway. That session was fantastic.
Excellent. Excellent.
I love to hear that Michael's session wrong.
Yeah.
Go, Mike.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello,
Have we got
everybody.
Sarah Simpson with us now.
So pardon me?
I'm just introducing you to the audience. That's all.
Go
You're good to go now.
So the question was, what was my biggest takeaway for
Yeah,
today?
just take away for the day.
There's a few, but the favorite was I went to Ron Baker's session, and you know the stages that I've gone through with. I was hourly, and then I was fixed, and I'm trying to figure out value pricing now.
Yeah.
Well, his session was all about value pricing is out the window. It's gone. Now we're going to work on subscription, monthly subscription billing.
Okay.
So it's a whole new thing to
Well,
learn.
Then it's probably good that you didn't even go through the value pricing. You just get to
Well,
bypass it
I
and jump right over it.
I've just joined on to a mentoring group for 12 months, so we'll see how this is going to shift. I don't know if I can mention her name.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, with Tamitha Deniers?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that starts in a couple of weeks. And
Nice.
I shouldn't speak for you guys.
No, it's fine. No.
And we're all here to support each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get the expertise from whoever
the
we
other,
can.
I just was with Michael Lee,
Your friend.
Who's Michael?
and
From Friday
it-
Night Live
it was
with
the-
accountants.
the
Yeah.
top 5 things for beginning the steps for advisory.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I was in the session.
yeah, so that was a good session as well.
Very exciting. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Where's Brittany? Brittany said she was.
Yeah,
gonna
Brittany
join
did
us.
say she was going to drop by,
Yeah.
but there's lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there is a party. So we're actually.
All the people are drinking.
Yeah, we're actually
We're
competing
not really
with cocktails.
as much of a draw as a bar. As
Yeah.
Yeah.
a bar.
Yeah,
open
no,
bar, yes. So we are.
That's a
we
great
are
point,
competing.
Andrew.
Unfortunately, we are competing with
Yep.
free alcohol.
Absolutely.
Which is
On that
tough to
note,
do.
we may be shutting it down.
Yes.
Yes.
So we probably should let the group that's here also start drinking, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Right? Okay, so thank you very much. It's a shortened edition of Wine and Whiskey Wednesday, but we did want to go live from here and bring you all in and share some of the excitement with you. So thank you again very much for joining us. Cheers, everyone. And
Cheers.
don't forget,
And I do have just one announcement.
okay, are you talking about next week?
No.
Okay, so before you do your announcement, just a reminder, next
I'm
week
not allowed
there
to
is
do it
no
yet.
Wine and Whiskey Wednesday, as Steve and I will be on a plane. So it will be the following Wednesday that we will see you in 2 weeks then.
Yes.
And you have an announcement?
Yeah,
Steve?
no, I was just going to say we will be doing a bunch of videos over the next couple of days, hoping to share with you guys much more of what's going on in and around the conference. And we very, very shortly will be launching a Kninja YouTube channel. So please look for some information on that, because we'd love you all to subscribe and check out our videos. Thanks
Perfect.
for joining us tonight.
And cheers, everyone.
Cheers.